This week on Performance TV, two-wheel conveyances, i.e. motorcycles. That's all you need to know.
Welcome to another edition of Performance TV. Tommy, you and I have driven all different kinds of race cars, and the different ones I've been in, some of them, the wind goes right over me. Some of them, as I'm going down track, it's actually getting in and lifting my helmet up.
We've got Mark here from Madstad Engineering. On a motorcycle, you need that comfort, you need the safety, and you come up with a lot of ideas here with windshields and deflecting the air to help riders.
When you have that problem where it's lifting your helmet, it's a problem driving. And for a lot of bikers, they can't enjoy a beautiful bike like this if they're not comfortable on it, if it's pulling their helmet, if it's shaking their helmet. So we found a way to use aerodynamics to channel that air more smoothly over the bike with a set of brackets and a unique way to attach it to the bike.
When you buy a car, you can adjust the seat or move whatever. You know, it's not like you have to go buy a different seat or whatever to make it fit you, but bikes aren't necessarily that way, and everybody's different.
Everybody's different, but they expect you to ride behind the same shield. That's what you get from the dealer. And if it doesn't work for you, go buy a different one. And then maybe if that doesn't work for you, go buy a different one. So it occurred to me, why not make it adjustable like your car seat? If you need to bring it closer, farther, you need to make it higher or lower, you can do that. So our system lets you raise the shield up and down and then tune it for those aerodynamics to get you a nice smooth flow.
So we make them for the Victories, the Harleys, the adventure bikes, a little bit of everything.
Sure, because you've got the same problem on different style bikes. Now, guys that ride these have a nice big fairing, and you'd think that that would really make you comfortable on the highway. That's not the case. You have air comes underneath, you have a vacuum that forms over the top. You have these guys that don't have any fairing on their bike, and they get air comes right underneath and blasts them in the chest. They're on the same highway, and they're getting blasted either way. So we came up with ways to attach our system. We've done it on over 90 different makes and models of motorcycles to improve your flow, your comfort, and in some cases even improve gas mileage when you're not getting blasted in the chest at your big barn door going down the highway.
Well, we've got one of each here today. We're going to put one on this Victory road bike, and then this adventure bike. We're going to put one on each. Kathy, how about you do the Victory? I'll do the...
Yeah, I will definitely do this one. And Mark, I have to tell you, I love the Performance TV logo. That's something else that I want to point out. You can put all different kinds of things on these as well, however someone wants to order it.
Well, there's no reason why you can't feel good and look good at the same time.
I'm liking that.
All right.
We can personalize it.
Okay.
Let's get started.
Get started.
Well, Kathy, all you need to do on the Victory Cross Country is just remove these 4 bolts.
All right.
It's just that easy. Now on the Tiger 800, I'm going to help Tommy. It's a little bit more involved.
Let you go at it.
We'll get started here.
We'll remove all this, move this piece here. Actually, even remove the factory bracket, right?
Yes, we're even going to remove that. We made our own. It adds strength because this type of bike is made for both on-road and off-road.
We're also going to add some side pieces for deflecting the air around the rider.
Sure, because without a fairing, a lot of that air that's coming through comes right through to your body from underneath. So we put small deflectors in that basically give you the same kind of effect that a fairing would.
Okay, we have the 4 out and a little seal right here, so we just need to pull that. Should slide right out of here. There we go. Now, Mark, we're not going to use any of the hardware or anything that originally came with the bike, and these will be the brackets that will help us have that adjustability that's really going to make a big difference.
Absolutely, and it just goes on as easily as the windshield. We're just using a different set of screws, that's it. Right, that bracket's going to come out. Let me hold that. And we'll use the same bolts just to put ours right back in it. Now we're going to take our 2 little side supports. You're going to attach it right here. Kit comes with a wrench, so you got most of what you need to get set up. Tab facing the other way.
Now you do.
There we go. Now the windshield on this, we have little screws that we pre-install in the windshield. It makes it a little easier to just put it on in one shot. I can just put the screws in with these little washers. They'll hold it in place. Hang on, let me pull the washer off. It's a little trick to keep the screw from falling out is we put the washer on the back side, and it's just tight enough to sit there so your screws don't fall off. Okay, over here we've got our 1, 2, 3 mounting points. Attach the one at the bottom first. Actually, you don't even need the washer on the front side. All right, easiest way is to just set the first 2 screws into their little rubber well nuts here.
Okay, there we go.
And you go ahead and get those threads started and just leave it partially loose. just to give us a little wiggle room so we can set the other 2 screws. And then we just finish it up on all sides.
All right, there we go. It's on now. When we come back, we're going to find out what makes these windshields extra special. That's next on Performance TV.
This edition of Performance TV, presented by Low Car Performance Products, is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. FLOWMASTER, the exhaust technology company. Do More Truck. Everyday truck users get it. Ecosystems, home of the Ecosystems Fuel Enhancer. And by Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GM A-body parts and accessories.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Before the break, we promised we were going to show you what makes these windshields extra special, the adjustability in these. And Mark, show me all the different things this windshield can do.
Sure. Well, now that it's on, it's really just a matter of loosening these 2 knobs. You can reach even from sitting on the bike.
Sure.
And now the shield can move back and forth to get the angle you need and adjust up and down exactly to the height that's right for you or whoever's on the bike. Tighten them up, you're ready to go.
That's fantastic, especially with the Performance TV logo on the front.
Especially.
Especially with that on the front. How you coming along, Tommy?
Evidently, you got the easy one.
Yes, I did.
How are we doing, Mark? Where am I at?
This is it. This is the majority of it. What we do is our adjustable brackets. Now we're kind of at the point where Kathy was.
Oh, now we're there.
Now we're there. So we can now take our screws and nuts and attach the brackets and then attach the shield.
All right.
With nuts on the back, washers, yeah, optional.
How'd you get that on there so easy?
Practice. Well, one way would be to do this before you put the plate on. I'll tell you what, you get it on there, I'll spin it with the Allen wrench.
Now it's time to install the windshield, right?
Yeah.
Should we do the side skirt before? Or
Yeah, let's put those on. They just take a second.
These come pre-installed in here, ready to go?
Yeah, it comes pre-installed, and with the little T-screws, you can take them off anytime you want. If you're on a hot day and you want to get more air to you.
We're talking about taking air off of you. There's some days you might want a little air on you.
That's right. There sure are.
These are pretty easy. Just go right into the bracket we've already installed on here.
Yeah, they just spin on. They also, the color of these is going to match the color of the windshield, so it will all look good together.
That was all right. Cool. Now, all we're down to is the windshield, and we can adjust my angle, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And the shield goes on just the same way. We got T-screws on this one, and just put them into the nuts.
Pretty simple installation here.
Yeah, a few more parts on this one than there were on the cross country.
But still doing the same purpose, same idea,
purpose.
same principles,
Exactly.
and same adjustability.
Same adjustability. Once you got those pretty much snug, you're good to go.
And I like this plate here. I mean, it gives it extra protection. It actually fits the bike really nice. Makes it look really good. I actually like that way better than the factory piece.
Well, it helps hide the instrument panel because you can see all of that stuff.
Yeah, you can see everything.
through
See
there.
the wiring, everything here. Plus, it gives the instrument panel a little protection back here because this bike does go off-road as well.
It does, and the guys that use GPSs can mount their GPS mounts you can attach. Well, let's loosen the knobs up. And now you got the
Change the angle,
same angle
up and down.
and same height. Yeah, up and down ability.
I like it. Then just tighten it up and you're ready to go.
That's it.
All right, cool. That's pretty good. I like that. Sounds like Kathy's ready to go for a ride.
Yeah, I think it's time to test this puppy out. What do you think? You want to race?
No, I mean, I'm glad you gave her that. Won't mess her hair up now.
No.
Yeah, can't have that, like I never have helmet hair. We'll have more coming up next on Performance TV. This week's industry update, Tommy, we are going to go on a cruise and be able to do so a whole lot easier.
I'll tell you what, Kathy, you're looking for something on a motorcycle, you're riding down the highway, having to hold the throttle open. It'd be nice to have some cruise control. This is a very simple item you could add to any motorcycle. It fits any motorcycle, it'll give you instant cruise control. It's very simple, it's all billet. It has a machine plastic here on the thing to protect your grip, won't scratch, has a lifetime guarantee, And it's super easy to install.
Yeah, installs in 6 seconds, even for Tommy.
If you have a grip, maybe it has some nubs on it, you're worried about this not sliding properly, it comes with this little rubber band that goes over your grip, gives you a smooth surface to slide on, and it's super easy to install. Slide it over your grip, adjust the tension screw right here, you tighten it up.
Right?
Get a little tension on it. You're running down the road, you want to set the cruise, you just rotate it forward, let go.
Let go. It's thin, too. It's not taking up a whole bunch of space here, and it looks like it'd be easy to use with gloves as well.
Absolutely. You can take it and put it on any bikes, lifetime guarantee. And let me tell you the neat thing about it. You ask, how do you turn it off? Very simple. Rotate the throttle.
You want to find out more? All you have to do is head to their website, and you, too, can be cruising with OmniCruise.
Performance TV, presented by Low Car Performance Products, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Tommy, you look kind of perplexed there.
You know, if I'm out on a bike driving around and my phone's roaming and the battery goes dead, so...
He's always roaming.
Well, how am I going to charge it on a motorcycle? I mean, I'm in my car, I just plug it in and charge it up.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're not going to use something like this.
No, I don't see any outlets like that on this bike right here.
No. I have something that is going to work just for you, and I think I hear Don coming now. Check this out. Don from 3BR POWERSPORTS. Don, what are all these decals and everything that you have here on this bike?
Well, to paraphrase the beer commercial guy, I don't ride often, but when I do, I ride far.
You need to know where you're going. It looks like you want to take pictures of where you're going and some video, and keep in touch with folks with your phone. How are you doing all of that on this?
Well, the biggest problem is you can get power, but trying to get power that is weatherproof is the real answer to the whole thing. You know, we track with our spot tracker, with the video going, GPS going. You've got to have weatherproof power ports.
Well, I'm pretty excited to keep Tommy all powered up over here, so that way when he roams, he's going to be able to keep his phone going. And this looks like, Don, this is going to be pretty simple to put on this Harley over here.
Yeah, in fact, any of the Harley touring bikes are pretty easy, but the Road King is particularly easy. We make specials for the Harley touring bikes, Suzuki, the sport bikes like the Hayabusa and the Gixxer. We actually make two different specials for the BMW guys.
Well, obviously you got this because this is what you do.
Yep.
But you're an engineer as well.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, it makes it easy. I mean, you can't just kind of start cobbling stuff together. So I am a registered professional engineer in the state of California, and we design our own stuff. We obviously test it ourselves, so it's the real thing by real riders.
I was going to say, it's proven, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's proven. We're talking thousands of miles.
Well, let's get this on this Harley here.
A few parts to move
show
around
how
here.
Easy it is.
Okay.
Well, the first step we need to do to install the USB port on this Harley is we need to have to pull this saddlebag off, which is very simple. You just open it up, a couple quick Zeus right there. Straighten up and lift it up.
There you go.
And off it is.
Next thing we need to do is get the saddle off here. There's two screws, one for the sissy strap here and the other that actually holds the saddle on here.
Your product seems like it's pretty simple to put on.
Yeah, we make the bike-specific units to make it as simple as possible. We do make a generic one that'll fit on anything, goes right to the battery.
All right, got your screws out.
Okay, pull the strap loose out of there. Goes down in between.
There we go.
Okay, now just pull it straight back, and there you go. So the next thing we want to do is take this side cover off, and it just pushes straight onto pins there. We can pull that board down, make it a little easier. We're ultimately going to need to get into a fuse right here, and you'll see why in just a bit.
Now, Don, normally working on electronics, first thing I'd want to do is disconnect this battery right here, not short anything out while I'm working on it, right?
Exactly right. In fact, in our instructions about the first 5 steps, talk about disconnecting the battery first, and that you always disconnect the negative cable before you disconnect the positive. But in this case, we're going to put that off, and I'll show you a trick of why we need to leave it connected for just a minute. So let's go ahead and take off the instrument cluster.
All right. All right. Now let's just pull
Okay,
this off.
there's a couple of rubber gaskets in there, and we need to take off a connector right here, and there we go. And we want to take off the vent tube. Now, let's stop here for a minute because I want to show you an alternate way of installing our TAP HD. And this is the whole thing, guts, feathers, and all. That's the working end of it. And then on this end is a Deutsch connector that mates with an accessory connector on here. We don't have the connector on here right now, and you'll see why in a minute. So ultimately, we're going to figure out where's a good place to mount it. You know, you can mount it tight to the triple tree clamp right there. On my Road King, I actually have it up here because I want my GPS mounted down there. But what I want to show you here in this point, one of the things we advertise and people say, well, who cares, that we have a co-extruded cable jacket rather than a loose jacket that's quite a bit larger in diameter. And the advantage of that is we can actually route just like this right down the tank. Now the disadvantage here is the fact that every time you want to take the tank off, you have to take the whole thing apart. And I'll tell you, the tank is so easy to get off. When I'm cleaning my bike and shining the cylinder heads, there's no way to get in there to do it.
Right,
I take my tank off.
Right.
So I do it all the time. So we're going to do a little bit different setup this time.
We're going to put it on here so it's going to be on permanently instead of
That's right.
it on and off all the time.
Got it.
Cool. Well, we're going to do the full installation of this. So when we get back, Don's going to show me a little trick right after this with more Performance TV.
This week's ARP quarter-mile quiz question comes from Skip in Washington. Skip wants to know, how much air pressure do you run in Top Fuel slicks? Here's Top Fuel champion Antron Brown with the answer.
Good question, Skip. It all depends on the track temperature. We vary from about 6 to 7 pounds of tire pressure, depends on how much traction that we have on the racetrack.
If you have a question for the ARP quarter-mile quiz, send it to the address on the screen. If we use your question on the air, you'll receive a free ARP quarter-mile quiz shirt. This edition of Performance TV, presented by Low Car Performance Products, is being brought to you by B&M Performance, quality performance products that work. Exoto, extending the life of your vehicles and equipment. Advertising Edge, custom branding solutions and promotional products. 3BR POWERSPORTS, featuring our all-weather USB and 12-volt power ports. And by TECHNOLOGT, secure your tailgate and contents from being stolen.
Welcome back to Performance TV. Now here's a little trick Don said he's going to teach me. Don, we didn't disconnect the battery, and you said there's a reason why.
We need to start the engine up to drain the fuel pressure off the fuel rail. So Tommy, if you pull the fuse cover off there, I'll put this back because we have to make a connection, otherwise the engine won't start.
And then as soon as you start the engine, you want me to pull this fuse up?
Yeah, okay. It's the fourth fuse down on that side. You get that located?
Yep.
Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Switch on in neutral. Be sure you're in neutral on there. That fast. This is a really cool thing. It's just like a quick disconnect air hose. So you pull it off, it's sealed on both sides. You won't have fuel running everywhere. So here's our negative battery connection. Always what you disconnect first, so go ahead and spin that loose. Take this little plastic goodie out of here. Pay a little attention to how it goes back in. You see the curved parts, because I always want to stick it in that way. Now, one more step. There's a fuel electrical line for the fuel sender. If you reach up there and disconnect that. Now we're ready to pull the tank off. I'll get started here, Tommy. All right, now we're ready to lift the tank off. So if you want to just grab a hold of it, and it comes right up off of there, if we did everything right. Now here's our cable tray. So we're going to run right down along the factory wiring. Our patented universal mounting bracket is attached with 3M VHB, very high bond tape. You want to make sure it's where you want it because it's real tough to get off. So we even give you a little alcohol swab to clean the areas. This universal mounting bracket has what we call a bracelet. It's like a watch band, so you can see it'll fit a round surface, a flat surface, whatever. Now, we give you a couple of tie wraps to wrap around here. It'll hold it in place for, we like to say 72 hours. It lets that molecular bond get in there good, but it's on there good and tight, so let's not do that right now. We're ready to install the tap all-weather USB port. So one of the reasons we leave that connector body off of here is that allows us to get through this gap. All right, go through there, and it's just simply a matter of routing the thing around. And you see there's a little gap on each side here, so that's kind of where you go in the cable tray.
Now it's time to put the connector on.
We just have written on here which wire goes where. It's also in the instruction. We're going to need that little piece in a minute. So we take the red wire, goes right in the weather cap. Deutsch connectors are the coolest connectors. The pins are really easy to...
Deutsch connectors on the race car, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
They're good stuff. And all the way until they're flush up here, and now we've got a good connection. Now this is the pin lock, and that keeps the pins from coming back out. Now we're ready to plug in. So The first thing we need to do is find their connector. All Harley touring bikes since about '94, I think, have this accessory connector on it. It's got 4 pins. It has a switch connection. It has a taillight one that blinks with it, and then it's got one that runs off this switch right here. So just leave the cap in place and plug it in, and you basically at this point have installed your tap all-weather.
Yeah, we have power up there already.
Right, so now I've got some tie wraps that come in the kit. I'm going to put one up under here if you want to pin a couple along in there.
All right, we got it all zip tied in here, put the cover back on, and now all we got left is to go ahead and install everything again.
I just put it back together. I do have one more tip though. While you have everything off, it's a great time to polish your rocker covers.
And what really makes your product so special is the fact that it may be sealed when you're not using it, but it's also sealed when you are using it.
Right, and so the cables are the other part of our business. And we have our patented tap cap, which looks very much like the cap that goes on the unit itself, but when we plug a cable in, we're now weatherproof all the time.
Exactly.
And that's unique to 3BR POWERSPORTS. There's a couple more things to it though. It's not just the cable. We found that we have to have special application cables to make things work correctly. So for example, a lot of riders use the Garmin Nuvi GPS. However, if you plug a data cable in here and plug it in there, it's going to go in data mode.
Right, and it's not going to do what you need for it to do.
Garmin's pretty clever. They use the cable to determine whether you're in power mode or navigate mode. So this is normally what you get.
Right.
So this is not going to work really good on a bike. A, it's all the cables, and B, it's got one of those things on it. It's great in a car, but it's not good on a bike. So we make a power cable that simulates that power cable that plugs into the Nuvi and lets you plug in actually any generic USB port, but of course we want you to plug in ours and be weatherproof. Now, a couple of things here. Again, we've had experience with these things. We found that the metal shell will separate from the rubber when you pull it out because the natural tendency is to pull by the strain relief, it twists it, shell comes apart. So you can see we've put this little pull tab.
Exactly.
So it's the little things.
And this is also how that we tell that it is a power and not a data cable, is because just like you call them on your red band cables. And this is just a few of the things that we can go to 3brpowersports.com, find out more, see how easy this was to install. You can install one of these on your bike as well. We're going to let Tommy get this one all put back together, but that's all we have time for this week, folks. Hope you'll join us again next week for more of Performance TV. You ought to be working here on this already.